Hello, mic check. You are watching Lognarok, a Twitch channel where we play Dungeons and Dragons every Monday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. for the time being. Also, we play PUBG in between. We play a lot of PUBG. Tonight you are watching Birth of the Red Dragon, episode number 11, and this is the 21st episode. Or 31st maybe. Fuck me. I think this is the 31st episode session that the current adventuring party has been a part of with Birth of the Red Dragon. So this started 31 weeks ago. I can't believe that. That's over a year. At least I have 3.1 written here. This is great. And there has been this long-lasting war against an evil sorcerer, Sephiron, who has been... his motive is still unknown, and there are 4 major cities throughout Aurum, the land. And the Empire controls them, and they're fighting, but then there's also this like internal rebellion of people who disagree with the Empire. It's very political behind the books, but what people don't usually see. And a couple episodes ago, the adventurers found out by sneaking into the governor's mansion that there was some shit that they didn't know about the governor's alliance to the Empire and to the evil sorcerer and what that was about. And so it kind of sparked this big political wave, almost fell to anarchy, but we'll see what's really going on as we pick back up here. And I am going to... This is the Land of Aurum here, just the close-up of the castle region. But I am going to dive into the adventuring lobby quickly. Here we go. Hello, guys. Are you there?
Yo.
Am I there?
Mm-hmm. Are you?
Does anybody even know where here is?
Ellie here.
It's not here. It's here.
It's not here. It's there.
No, not there. There.
Underwear?
Exactly.
Womp womp.
We actually got the technology to do that now. Okay. Last episode, you guys had made it back from Penguin. You had stopped a potentially dangerous or risky fight against a bare-chested, burlap pants wearing, maybe wayfarer on the road, but he was trying to steal your horse and wagon, and you guys diffused that group. He was a pikey. His name was Pikey. And you guys diffused it. That was really good. And you made your way through Pengit, through the long stretch to Aurum, where a couple miles from the city center of Aurum Keep, you guys had came up to farm, and I don't remember what its name was. It was like Farm and Fleet, but it was like ag and wheat. It was Barns and Wheat. That's what it was. Barns and Wheat. And you guys had noticed the bustling agricultural area. That's Barns and Wheat down here. You guys then decided to go east around Barns and Wheat, where you were down the main drag, where you guys were on this like main, old western, imagine like an old ghost town, but not a ghost town. It's bustling. There's like saloons, shops. There's all different kinds of like fun stuff. There's like a big place where you can. It's a whole place just dedicated to oil you can put in your hair to make your hair look nice. Or your feathers too, if you wanted to, and somebody confronted you and asked you guys if you were the adventuring group that went to Penguin. You lucked out because you guys didn't think about the political setting of Aurum. So if you told the truth, and this was a city that was not aligned to you guys, who went off, half the city thinks you guys tried to assassinate the governor. So people who are sympathetic to the governor will be very hostile towards you. And a lot of these places have that indication. You guys told the truth. You didn't lie. You're like, yep, that's us. Like, we're the ones. And then like everyone's like, okay, these are the guys who tried to assassinate the governor. And then these are the guys who are also proving their loyalty, though, by fighting Henry Brighthammer. You guys had the opportunity to get to know them better. You guys took that. The Lazy Turtle Tavern, run by Turtle, the half orc or the full blown orc, I can't remember. Him and his business partner hosted you guys for free there. It was a big party. There was a whole bunch of music. Charmaine, the bard, and we'll go through characters in a second. That'd probably be a good idea too. But Charmaine had played her lute. I believe she's got a lute. And a strange man who had come in to order a beer sat down and had a duet with her with his dulcimer. And the man on the dulcimer was none other than Peo Morazan himself. And after he finished his drink, he just got up and maybe walked to another place. Who knows what he was doing? Just warming up, having a drink and a bite to eat. And then as all the adventurers were upstairs in their beds, Charmaine was by herself. An assassin crept up on her. Charmaine was able to hear it. Charmaine heard the floorboards squeak behind her, and she turned around while going, "Wah!" I don't remember what she was playing on the lute, but casted Thunderclap. It just like fell backwards and casted Thunderclap as she fell backwards. And it started this whole whirlwind of combat where Erizo got knocked back down from a poison dagger and went unconscious for a brief moment. Erizo, what did you see in the great beyond? Like when you got stabbed by that poison dagger and you were almost down until her next blade attack like knocked you. You fell down. You went completely unconscious. Something you saw in the great beyond made you just jump right back up to your feet. What did you have? Like, was it a bad dream? Like you fell off your bicycle or something that made you just jump back up? Or was it like the vision of a loved one or something? Like, what was that, man?
Seeing not too clearly, but only being able to see a couple silhouettes of light here and there flowing by. And hearing in my head, "You're not done yet. You still got, some voices telling me to get back up."
Huh.
And eerily familiar to some of the people from my tribe.
Oh, so it was like people who were a part, like almost not your ancestors, but your kin.
The ones who raised me, yeah.
Yeah, it was your kin. They're telling you to get back up. Sweet. Yeah, and you got back up and you guys finished the fight. You were able to Shiloh, which you guys never asked when you asked Shiloh for her name in Tarkov's warehouse. You guys asked for her name. She said it was Shiloh, and you guys never asked for her last name. That would have given it away. Her name is Shiloh Tan, like charlatan, and her name was Shiloh Tan, and she was lying to you guys about a couple things, but never her like main intention. She did want to go find her sister in the wash. And she had her own character. She had her own 29 episodes of stuff after that got her back to this part. But you guys are now, you had licked your wounds as the assassin had come through the tavern. Once the fight ended, at let's say like 1 a.m. or so, and you guys are waking up, I don't know, you guys, what time, like, let's go, let's do this, let's introduce characters and just say like what we're doing after the fight and then at this morning, so that will give Getafix and Eliard, you guys each have you guys are each in a room together. As Getafix, you were looking after Eliard. Eliard wasn't feeling the best, which explains why the two of you weren't in the fight. Maybe you guys were resting. Maybe Getafix had some good shit that kept you guys from sleeping. So don't worry about why you guys missed the fight, but maybe just explain how your morning is, how you guys are waking up. But we'll start first with Charmaine. What did you do after the fight, and like what's going on this morning?
I mean, Charmaine was kind of she took a brunt of it, like a bit of it at the beginning there. She was pretty tired out. So as soon as she realized that that everything was going to be okay, that she was basically safe, she slept a full rest and woke up. What time did you say it was? It was 1?
What time do you want to? Oh, what time? No, what time do you want to wake up?
No, no, no. What time did you say that the fight ended?
Oh, the fight ended probably closer to 2 o'clock.
Okay.
It was maybe like midnight 1 when you and Peo had a little duet.
Mhm.
He left, and then somewhere between 1 and 2, that all went down.
So she ends up sleeping until noon, and what wakes her up is like the smell of lunch somewhere in the village.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all over. The whole morning,
Right.
the whole afternoon just reeks of. There's a lot of cattle, so it probably smells like beef and bacon. It's probably like really hearty breakfast smells. Brown sauce,
Yeah.
tons of brown sauce.
Right. So she's pretty hungry now that she's actually gotten a full rest, and she's off in search for breakfast.
Nice. Okay, so Charmaine's just like up and at him. She heads out of the tavern to look for breakfast. And then we'll go to the next adventurer here. Eliard and Getafix will save you till last. So Nerva, what's up? How'd your fight end? How did it end for you? And now that that's over, what's going on this morning?
Nerva was incredibly angry and annoyed that Shiloh came back to haunt us. Nerva would have wanted to like search their bodies for any letters or any more trinkets or anything that would have like pointed to the Obsidian cult. I don't know if anything like that existed. I just like probably would have been like, fuck these guys, and like would have gone through. But yeah, I imagine that
because you had pulled off the sapphire ring.
Oh, right.
Yep, you had pulled a sapphire ring off Shiloh.
Okay.
Yep. As you were like looking for signs of obsidian, and you'd like their armor looked like obsidian cult fashion, but the sapphire ring definitely led you to believe differently. Like there might be something else, something more to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess Nerva probably would have just like, I don't know, gone back to her room, but just like wouldn't have been able to like sleep or yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe she would be like contemplating her spells for the next day and just kind of, I don't know, she feels a little more like vengeful.
Yeah, you said vengeful?
Yeah.
Towards who?
Just like not really towards anyone, just like feeling like jaded, like
Sure, yeah.
like we shouldn't trust anybody, like I don't know. I'm also feeling like I have one of their amulets, but like it would be better off in my hands than theirs, kind of like I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
It's like
what Nerva's thinking.
it's like sometimes to do the right thing is to do the thing that nobody else wants to do. Or it's like sometimes do the right thing means to do the wrong thing. Like the amulet that you are holding, that's growing with you. You were lower level when you found it. It's growing with you, and you're starting to see its power. You've always known it was powerful and everything. In the winter orb that you guys found, that really cold orb that you left in Oxton, with the head with the wizard, you're starting to see all this power around you. And if it's fair for me to say, it might seem that you're just realizing that power is going to be everywhere, and power isn't good or evil. Like, power is power. And you're knowing, like, man, but there are some people who will use it in ways that are terrible. And those people can be good or evil. So you're just like, fuck everything. You're just like feeling very vengeful for just the way. And you're still young. You're very young for a drow. So you're probably just learning what we all know now in our 30s. It's just like, just like, fuck, man.
System is built to
The system,
to
yeah.
hurt us.
There is no good or bad in the system. It's the fucking system. Yeah. Cool. That's very good. And in the morning when you wake up, is there any, do you go like, oh, the tavern downstairs, it has they're just mopping up like blood. Like they're closed for business. The downstairs is closed for business. It's just mopping up blood. But is there anybody you go to or anybody you wait for, or is there anything you want to immediately do there? And the downstairs while they're cleaning, it's not bad either. It smells like candles. I can't remember the Turtle's partner's name. I don't think I gave her one. So if somebody had a name for Turtle's partner, they're more than welcome to let me know. But, oh no, I did give one to her. Beatrice. It was Beatrice. Beatrice has lit some candles and is just trying to freshen up the place from the smell of people who soiled themselves by being murdered. So yeah, where's Nerva standing at this point?
So we're in Oxton, possibly wanted fugitives. So
Yeah,
I would be like
that realization
trying
comes to you.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be trying to like go to any like schools or libraries or anything. Like I'd probably just like, if I was going to leave, I would like be putting my hood up, but I don't know. I think I would probably just like stay put. And if anyone else like approached me, I would talk to them, but I feel like I don't know. Nerva's just kind of stewing and thinking about spells and wanting to learn spells out of that book, needing money to do that. Just like grr. Wait, are you muted?
Yes, I am muted. I was like, I like said that and I was like, weird, it sounded different. But yeah, you'll definitely need to look for a quiet place to study your book, get some new spells, dial in on some magic. Okay, that's right. There's more people in the party. Let's see here. Who else plays D&D with us? Erizo, you give us your deeds.
After getting stabbed, betrayed by who I thought was a friend. Yeah, that dagger hurt like crap. But in the morning, still feeling that and just like having that recollection, that weird stance of like just looking up in the ceiling, but that sensation in my hand over the area is just like really bugging me mentally. At the same time, thinking back as to what I saw and what I heard while I was down, really wanting to be able to, pushing forward and really try to find a way to make this circlet work and really gain a little bit more strength. That's pretty much within my grasp, but it's going to take a little bit of time to reach there. It's muted again.
Christ on a bike. You guys, I just do that so I don't mouth breathe while you guys are talking. I also have a really hard time if you guys are telling something and you finish a sentence, I jump in with like info. I jump in with like, not yeah, oh yeah, and then this, and then just and I'm like, fuck, I gotta stop doing that. So I tried muting my mic, but I'd rather be mute though. Okay, your circlet is what I was saying. You've got the spell for it now. You've got the circlet. You've jumped through 2 hoops. And to roleplay, you know that creating just a magic item is not that easy. Like, you know that to take an item and make it magical is possible, but it's going to take time, it's going to take resources, and it will be dangerous depending on what kind of resources you need. And you know that. And you could have been thinking about that this entire adventure. Like, Erizo has a purpose as his backstory. And this whole adventure, you have been grinding and you've gotten through 2 hoops. And you think, okay, I've got the magic, I've got the weave, the energy of the weave on this piece of paper that a wizard has written down. This is how you access. This is how a necromancer would access this magic. This is how the undead would access this magic. A wizard has scribed this on a piece of paper. And you've got an item that has been very finely imbued by drow, by a small team way up in Oxton, or in Goodhead. You traveled to the highest peak of Aurum and put an end to a like horribly evil Durgar cloning operation that you'll still have to fight those divisions that made it out of there. But you guys shut that down, and that's huge. And from that, you were given money, you were given privilege by some. You guys also were not liked by the people of Goodhead that much. But you managed to get a really intense circlet from the magic up there. That is one of the most magically filled areas is up in Goodhead. And you managed to bring a crafted circlet from there. And now with this magic, there's a couple, there's just going to be a little bit more to go. But it's pretty big hype for you. And metagaming, giving a level, I think it's like a level 2 or level 3 spell slot like to a ranger, like that's pretty. Like if someone is building a character and they're like, I want to be a barbarian, but I still want to cast spells, but I don't want to multi-class. Like it is a pretty big gift. That's why I'm really making you work for it. That's why Erizo is really having this like storyline, this big arc to get there. And I've been thoroughly enjoying the ride. And I can't wait. I can't wait to figure out what your next hurdle is. Because you're going to love it, I hope. And if you don't, you can tell me, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I won't do that next time. And yeah, I guess now we'll go. Those were the 4 adventurers that were here last week. And now let's head over to Getafix. What's up, man? What's your morning like? You've been tending to Eliard. You and Eliard, Eliard and Nerva. So you're the medic. You were given the staff of Mother Ziona by her. Like everybody witnessed this like dead person talking through the sky and like the breeze and blowing through these like apple blossom trees after you killed Henry Brighthammer, and she bestowed this like quarterstaff with a growing tree at the top of it. Like what the fuck? And she's just like, Getafix, like take this, like you have a mission. And since imbuing to that staff, you feel fucking great. Like you feel like you just snorted 8 ibuprofen and shotgunned a Red Bull behind it. Like you just feel so healthy because of that staff. And that staff, when attuned to it, makes it impossible for you to ever take the poisoned or the diseased condition. So metagaming, and to kind of give you a heads up, that when you attune to that staff, before that you were feeling just as like kind of nauseous as Nerva and Eliard were, but after attuning to that staff, you feel fucking great. And you've been kind of just helping out Eliard, who hasn't been feeling that well. So what's your morning like right now with Eliard?
So I guess my first question from missing last week is, did we, like you said, I feel great and Eliard's been feeling bad. Has there been any more talk about the maybe disease that came out of
not at all
Brighthammer's head?
Nope. Nerva tried. So Nerva wasn't feeling the greatest, and I believe she made a medicine check.
Yeah, it sucked. I was just like, I must have a headache or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, I must have a headache. I don't know what it is. And I was like, make a medicine check. And it was like, yeah, it's just a headache. It's just like just a bad headache. It's something comparable to when you read too many books at night and you're like, my head hurts.
Perfect. So I guess I would say I would wake up in the morning after missing a fight. I was sound asleep, I suppose.
Snoring.
And I wake up and see Eliard in the same room, and remember the kind of the bright hammer sequence plays back in my head, with the bugs or the black kind of sand stuff in the head, and I want to like inspect Eliard to see.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If I can get any info or see if he's has disease.
Make a medicine check for me.
25.
Oh damn. That was actually so good. I'm gonna pull up the parasite that I wrote. You ever just like, oh, and this is just a warning since I don't have a night bot. If you guys are squeamish, if you guys in Radio Land, or even if you guys that are in the party, if you get squeamish from parasites, go ahead and mute me. Or just mute the channel quick. Because I realized I watched a D&D session last week or this weekend maybe. Time flies in weird ways for people, but shout out to Static Cling. I was watching them and their partner do D&D, and they had a Nightbot in chat on Twitch that said like heads up, like this D&D campaign goes over, and it was like a list of things that could come up. And I was like, man, that is so appropriate because I was even getting squirmish talking about the parasite that I designed, you know, and it was tough. And I was like, that's actually really nice to warn people. So with a medicine check, this is it. You are able to look inside Eliard's ear, and you can't see the parasites that are that small. But you do put your finger in his ear, and you pull it out, and you lick it, your finger. After putting it in his ear, and you lick. And you can taste this, like, rancid off taste. It tastes more like expired meat that's gone off, than cheese. So it smells more like meat than cheese. And judging by what you saw in Henry Brighthammer's cracked open skull, the just like ball of tiny parasites that were supposed to be his brain, but was actually a hive of parasites. This is more than just, this is not magical. This is a real thing. This is a necrotic infection of parasites that will eat your brain until they have control of your nervous system. They basically eat, devour, and replace your brain. And if something is not done about this, you can tell that Eliard is, let's see here, what time is it today? What time is it for you, Getafix? What time did you wake up and start looking at this? You're like, fuck, yesterday, you know, like if time's a thing, like as soon as possible.
Since I missed the fight, and probably when we got to the place, like where we rested, like I would have immediately gone to rest with Eliard.
Yeah.
So I would say it's early morning.
Pretty early? Yeah, definitely. We can say like the fight just ended. Maybe the sun's sort of coming up still, maybe 5 a.m. And so you can tell that this is about 66, and medically speaking, you should probably estimate more. It could be between 66 to 100% of the way of consuming Eliard's brain. Like this has been going since 2 days ago, and this has been going for about 2 days. Eliard has maybe about a day left before he starts taking severe damage to his intelligence and his charisma. So his brain being eaten is going to be damaging his intelligence and charisma scores. Metagaming, it's going to be, and since you rolled 25, this is going to be attacking his actual ability score, not his HP, not at first. This is going to start eating away at intelligence and charisma if something's not done.
Good thing I never liked Eliard. Not.
You start checking his pockets for loot.
Well, I guess he's already
dead.
out the door.
66% of the way. Who's me to stop nature? That's a chaotic evil healer.
I would like to put the back of my hand on Eliard's forehead and attempt the lesser restoration spell on him. See if it will do anything against the
awesome.
disease.
What does your restoration look like? Restoration.
It's like just like a glowing red from the back of my hand on his forehead. Just
nice.
like a warm, like
you're like taking his
like
temperature.
a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a mom touching, just checking.
Yeah. Yo, Ketamins, what's up? Thanks for the battle axes, baby. Chop them, swing them, cut them, knock them down. This is Lognarok, a Twitch channel. We play D&D. Thanks for stopping by, dude. Thanks for the battle axe support. Lord Kosh, Goodhead does live up to his name forever. Big city. Okay, so as you lay your hand to the back of Eliard's head, and you're like, oh, this is not good. And you start just like, I hope this helps. Like, this is the proverbial, like, stopping putting pressure on the wound. You're like, okay, what do I do here? I'm just going to start. This is big. This is heavy. Oh gosh, you're channeling in this lesser restoration spell. And Eliard, what were you dreaming of as you're about 66% away from being devoured by this parasite mentally, and you were in a deep sleep, kind of like a sick sleep? What kind of a nightmare would Eliard have? Paging Dr. Eliard. Nice. I'm glad you have that one on standby. Tamir, if you want to just message me and let me know if you're like having tech problems. Looks like my last message from you is a thumbs up, so I think that's an old one.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, buddy.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, you can hear you now.
Right. Cool. So Eliard has this throbbing kind of sound, coming from. Yeah, it's like just like this constant throbbing, and it's getting louder and then softer and then louder some more and then softer, and it keeps going back and forth until it's like a constant throb. And like when you're sick, you're kind of you kind of see you just have really weird, like almost psychedelic kind of dreams.
Definitely very lucid.
That are like constantly shifting and changing setting.
Yeah.
That's kind of happening. Like there's nothing like coherent that's happening, but possibly he's dreaming about his time in the military or his time as a kid. But all these experiences are kind of blending together.
They're just the traumatic highlights from those parts of life.
Yep.
Maybe just that's awesome, man. That's a really good description. Thank you. And as you're going through these shifting thoughts of like maybe like past traumas or places where you did not feel good, and you just like you have no but in your consciousness you don't really have a reason to feel bad. You maybe have had a headache or something, but now as you're sleeping, this like something very bad, something very troubled, and right as you are in battle, and there's like the clang of metal and orcish howls, elves like muttering chants under their breath as they're like diving through opponents, and you're somewhere in this front line as a half genie, just burning fire and swinging your scimitar. You turn around and you take a maul, a large fucking stone from an orc swinging this maul just right in your face, and you can feel your entire face, your entire bone structure, your nose, everything fucking collapse as your face is turned inside the fuck out and brain pulp flies back onto the floor. And when you hit the ground, you wake up with this gasp like being thrown in cold water, only to be met by a warm blanket as Getafix's massive hand is over your head. Your eyes shoot open as a rush of air. Your lungs feel like you just took the biggest hit from the nicest inhaler imaginable. Like you're just like this breath of fresh air, and you feel great. You feel awesome. You feel like Eliard again. And now explain, your thoughts, what's going on now, and how you play out the rest of this morning.
Can you hear me? First off.
Yeah, correct.
Cool. So, where am I? What's going on? How long have I been asleep? Getafix. What?
It's been a while, Dave.
Oh, my head. Bloody head hurts so much.
Are you feeling better?
Oh, yeah. I think so. Got all my... I look down, I got all my toes and fingers. Yeah. I feel fine. What the bloody heck happened?
I can explain later, but I must go check on the others.
All right. Oh man, I kind of like look at my shirt, my like clothes, and they're just like soaked. I've just been in this like
sweat.
Crazy event. Yeah.
Yeah. Night sweats.
And it's like the morning, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Roll a perception check. Make a perception check for me, Eliard. It'd probably help if I had roll 20 open as well. For you guys to look at.
12.
You rolled a 12?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then is that adding your perception?
My perception's -1. Yep.
Fuck, so that's adding your minus perception. But it was a 12 still, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You can hear the sounds of water splashing onto a floor. On this, you can tell, like, you're on the tavern second floor. Like, you came into the tavern on your own accord. Like, you walked in there with Getafix just like kind of holding with you. You walked in there just fine. But you can hear the water splashing in a room nearby, and you can imagine that's the bathroom. Like the literal room full of baths. If you wanted to like start taking a bath, you can do that. I think some of the adventurers did that last episode. I had said that Beatrice was drawing hot baths for everybody, and that was 2 hours ago that this fight had ended. So you could definitely get up and see if there's like a warm bath still going with fire under it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I also want to like just see if I can locate a mug that I can just drink some, just hydrate while I'm also bathing.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Walking out of your room wearing your sweaty sweaty undergarments that you went to bed in, and just looking down the hallway, you can see the silhouettes of some dancing candles, because it's still, the sun still hasn't really come up yet, but you can see some dancing candles, some dim light, and just some silhouettes in a room. As you walk up to the room and look in there, there are 2 bath maids, and they are just emptying some water from one large tub, like adding it to another. Now that you're in the room, you can smell the perfumes. Like, you can smell the shampoos and good sense. There's a pitcher and there's a pint glass next to it, and one bath maid turns around and goes, "Oh my, we were just going to be calling it an evening, but I didn't know we would have an early bird. Would you like us to draw you your bath?"
If you wouldn't mind, it'd be much obliged.
Of course.
Maybe a pint of some fresh water.
Anything for the anything for the heroes. Anything for the heroes that you know, did such a valiant effort to help Brighthammer. Anything for you, sir. And the one marches out of the room to go get you some of the fresh water you just requested, and the other one is starting to stoke more fire. She's like getting some wood, and she's like putting it underneath the tub, and she's like trying to get the fire started, and she's like waving like a thin piece of wood to try, or a big pump, right? Anything to like get the fire started. And there's not a whole lot of embers.
Mind if I give you a hand there, miss?
Oh, what?
I just walk up and just kind of snap my fingers like close to the underneath the bath, and a flame starts up.
Whoa. Yeah, fire ganassi. You just start your own tub on fire, and make a performance check. Do you want it to be super performative, or are you just trying to start the bath?
Maybe like I want to.
It's up to you.
Yeah, just normal.
Cool. And yeah, she just like, whoa, like she didn't hear. She heard the story about the adventuring party, but she hadn't heard about like your guys' character classes, you know. But now she's like, whoa, like no wonder why this guy was one of the heroes that were going to help Brighthammer. Like this person can cast fire essentially, and swoons. And she's, if anything else you need, just don't be afraid to holler. And she just like she power walks out of the room, slightly swooning. And Getafix, yeah, where are you off to now?
So I go out into the hallway. It's a hallway upstairs, right?
Yes.
And I try and remember where the rest of the party like settled for the night, so I can check on them. Absolutely.
Charmaine is gone. You, Nerva's probably like just getting up because she was like she was having those vengeful thoughts and doesn't need as much sleep as everybody else anyways, so maybe was like in her room compiling her books, compiling her thoughts. Charmaine
left around noon though.
Yeah, so Charmaine's snoring. You can hear Charmaine in her room snoring. And Erizo,
she's quite the vocal snorer too.
Oh yeah. It sounds amazing. Bards do snore the best. And then Erizo, what were you getting up and doing?
I was just thinking back on what happened, and then after that, probably around 7 o'clock in the morning. After that, heading downstairs to see if I see any more of the group. Otherwise, if I see nobody, I'll just hang out downstairs as I wait for everybody else to come down.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Turtle pours you a little glass of hot beverage, and Getafix, you can walk downstairs first, like just noticing the party was just getting ready. Everybody was sort of collecting themselves, and you wait down in the lobby as Nerva and Erizo eventually make their way down, and you guys can start a dialogue if you want. Erizo, Getafix, and Nerva.
All right, I will like beckon them over, like kind of urgently, but not too urgent.
I see Getafix. I walk over.
And I will ask, how have each of you been feeling since our fight with Brighthammer?
I feel fine. I have not noticed anything different of sorts. Is there something in particular you're trying to ask me for?
I may have came across sickness that Eliard had. Would it be all right if I check you both for the same?
What kind of sickness? And yes, you may check me if you wish. I present myself to him.
Yeah, go go ahead, Getafix. Make a medicine check with advantage because he's helping you. He's presenting himself.
So that means you do it twice, or is
yes. Yep. Do it twice. Take the highest.
Oh. 10.
10. Good. 10.
Oh, there. Watch your hand there. Getafix. Oh, not that.
You start checking the wrong parts. But you can't tell as much as you found with Eliard. Like knowing, like you learned, like you recalled so much with Eliard, but you can tell that Erizo, for all intents and purposes, to you looks fine. You don't pick up any traces of parasite eating.
Perfect.
Brain bugs.
Is everything okay, Getafix?
It appears so.
Okay. But please, what was it you were looking for? 'Cause now you have my attention.
So Eliard had a parasite, brain-eating parasite in him from the fight with Brighthammer. It seems like it's a time-sensitive thing, so I'd like to check the rest of the party before we get too far.
Parasite. Now I'm wondering if this has to be exactly what may have infected Brighthammer in the first place.
Agreed. Would it be okay if I check you, Nerva?
Absolutely, yes. I distinctly remember vomiting everywhere after fighting him, so I could very well be sick.
Getafix, make your medicine check with advantage again.
18.
Okay, so an 18. Yep, Nerva. You can definitely tell that Nerva's got a parasite in her head. Like you can look at that right away.
Gross.
And it catches you off guard though. Like you definitely flinch when you find it, Getafix. Like you're like peering around. You do the finger taste again.
God.
And you do the taste, and it is you're just like, oh shit, yeah, fuck, this isn't good.
Oh, the taste is salty.
Taste is salty.
I will immediately again place the back of my hand to Nerva's forehead and use a lesser restoration.
Okay, and the lesser restoration goes off. Nerva, it feels like you just took 7 Claritins. Like you just took a bunch of, like you can feel like your head feels so much lighter. I don't know what Claritin actually does. Claritin Clear, you know, not a sponsor. So, but if you want to be clear, what if our podcast is sponsored by Claritin Clear? No, that'd be fun. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever medicine would make your head feel less heavy, right? Like you've lost a ton of pressure, you've lost a ton of congestion. You can suddenly smell a lot more clearly what's around you, and this like fog that's been around your head for the last day now feels better. And Getafix, you roll me just a flat wisdom check. Just a d20 plus your wisdom. Claritin Clear. That's Claritin's stand. Are you in good hands? Okay, Getafix, cool.
Oh, 6.
6, yes. Just like you're happy with what you did. You're happy with the work that you've done. Like fuck yeah, I've been a good doctor.
Perfect. And then I will turn to them and ask if has either of you noticed any of the other members showing any signs of sickness? I guess Charlemagne's the only other one. No. Am I forgetting someone?
You're forgetting Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett.
Oh, you should.
Yes.
You should definitely check the others if you're able to, just in case.
And so, both of your checks, Getafix on the two of them, as you guys sit down and you're talking, you probably spent a couple hours doing these checks on them, making sure that medically they're fine. You guys are sitting on bean bags next to a hearth. So, like, it's just past breakfast time now. It's going to be, like, early evening. And that's when the door to the tavern opens. And in walks a man who is very beautiful. Very beautiful man. He is not the strongest looking individual, but he looks like he's a smart guy. He looks like a smart guy. He's not, terribly small, but his name, as he walks in, and he says, Mayor Baldo, at your service. And he puts his hands out to the three of you. And shaking.
I'm sorry. Did you say Mayor Baldo or Mayor Baldo?
Mayor Baldo.
Mayor Baldo. Nice to meet you. My name is Erizo.
Erizo, it is a pleasure to meet you. And he turns to you, Getafix, with his hand out. And he shakes it. And then he turns to Nerva, and he says, my pleasure to meet you, Mayor Baldo.
I hold out my hand, like not in a handshake, but like for him to take it.
Okay, yeah, and he just very politely just like touches your hand and like gives you a little like head nod. My pleasure. It's Mayor Baldo. And you are?
Nerva Birch, sir.
Ah, Nerva Birch. My compatriots told me when I woke up today that there was a bit of a run-in here, and I was even more surprised to find out that it was the people who had gone to Penguin. I know that Turtle is a friendly man, and you guys are more than welcome to the main drag anytime. You guys are, and he leans in really close, and he kind of like whispers out to you guys, and he says, you guys are a bit of heroes in this part. You can count on us. But you shouldn't stay here much longer, as I fear it might draw more unwanted attention, and here at the main drag, we like to be diplomatic. And I hate to shoo you out, but perhaps you guys will be willing to head out, and I'm really sorry about all this. If there's any favor you guys might have, I am so sorry that this happened here in my town. But should you need a favor of any kind, please just come to Mayor Baldo. Mayor Baldo. Mayor Baldo will get your back. Maybe, depending on. But if you need anything, let me know.
It's just unfortunate that we have to be out of here.
Yes, very
But
sad. Just maybe before the evening, right? Just before the evening starts again.
Which direction do you recommend for us to head to, Mayor Baldo?
Have you any accommodations?
Recommendations. I can't speak for much. If you guys, I know Arden. If you guys are heading towards Oxton, which I imagine you would be, having just gotten done with a large quest, I would imagine you were coming to go to Oxton. Maybe you have to like return a quest still or something. I don't know what adventurers do, but yeah, if you're looking for a town that is a little bit more sympathetic towards you guys, I would strongly suggest Arden. Arden is a very favorable place, very lovable. They're just a little bit more conservative with their personal lives. Where here in the main drag, you'll find a lot more treats of the night here. But Arden is a nice spot for you to check out. But I won't keep you too long if there's any questions you might have. Otherwise, I can only tell you as much I know about the main drag.
But you don't have anywhere for us to stay.
Oh, no. I mean, this is the place that I'd recommend for here. Definitely. But I'm sure wherever you guys are heading to turn in your quest, you might know.
Are there any places you would advise us to steer clear of?
Very good question. Let me double check. I would strongly suggest you avoid the town of Dia. You passed through it coming here. And if you guys remember Barns and Wheat, that like huge surplus that's like the center of that turnaround on the map, you guys... Here, I can actually just pull you here to the map. And I will point out that Dia is down here at the bottom. So you guys came in from the south, and you had gone by Dia on your way in here. It was just a regular town, just looked like a plain regular town that you can remember. But he's just saying, like, avoid Dia. They tend to fly a lot more blue. They have a lot... it's kind of one of the last exits before leaving Oxton, so they get a pretty good deal of merchants who spend the night there.
Thank you.
Yes. But yes, please rest your feet just a little while longer, but I suggest being on the way before nightfall again.
Thank you again for the information, Mayor Baldo. I do have one more
Sure.
question, if you do have information of it.
Okay.
The assassin who came after one of our party,
Yes.
had a blue sapphire ring on her hand. Do you happen to know any information of this particular group?
Yes, I do. That's one of the biggest dilemmas of letting you guys stay here. It appears as if, and honest to Ziona herself, Turtle was just being hospitable. He wasn't trying to take it into the politic realm, but that's why Mayor Baldo is here. You see, if you stay in our town, it appears that we may be sympathetic towards the Empire loyalists, or more so the Red Dragon Rebellion that was started recently. We're a little worried. It's the politics are dicey. I can't explain them too well, but blue is kind of the symbol for the separatists, and more so Sephiron. And he like whispers that.
My eyes just like bulge at that last whisper. And it's
Yes.
just like, well, is there any way to be able to contact you should we like to make an acquaintance at a later time?
Yes, of course. I've just come on down to the town hall here at the main drag.
All right, and just showing up ask for you? Is
Yes,
that
come
just
on
fine?
in. Come on in. You guys are always welcome here.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mayor Baldo.
Absolutely.
Well, that is the last question. Like I said, I had. I don't know if any of the rest here of my party would have any other ask of you before you leave.
Do we know why Baldo came? Did he come in just randomly to check, or he heard we were here?
Yeah, you can tell that he came there just to shoo you guys out of the main drag.
Got it.
You can make an insight check if you want.
Perfect. 21.
Nice, 21. You definitely tell that the mayor came in to shoo you guys out. You can tell he was being honest as far as his opinion about you guys and like being very forward. Like, you guys are always welcome here, but I'm just trying to keep the city safe and neutral. He's just trying to like not get any. This town makes so much money by the look of the commerce of the main drag area that he doesn't want to bring anything that will disrupt that. Like just the story alone of assassins coming into Turtle's Tavern there, the Lazy Turtle, is not good for business. And what's not good for business is not good for the mayor. He definitely looks like a wealthy man. He looks like a very young, wealthy hotshot.
Perfect.
Yes.
So Charmaine comes back from hanging out and trying to find food and says, "What's going on, guys?"
Wow, welcome back. How was your breakfast?
Oh, it was fantastic. I had some bacon, I had some eggs, I had some muffins. I think they're muffins. And there was some orange juice and there was some coffee, and it was fantastic. What's going on over here?
Mayor
As,
Baldo
sure.
just kicked us out.
What?
They kicked us out. The mayor just stopped by to let us know that we should leave.
I was gonna say that. I almost got killed last night.
Also,
Did we think
by
it was
the
a good
way,
idea to stay here? I thought we were going to Oxton.
we are. We're heading out of here soon. Also, Charmaine, as I make a weird eye contact with her, my face just starts blushing, and then I look down and I say, "I apologize for how I burst out of my room yesterday and for what you saw."
Well, I can't say I was surprised.
Last night when the assassins attacked Charmaine, Erizo busted out of his room. I was gonna say busted out of his unit, but I was also gonna say he was running with his unit outside. He was freebirding it down the hallway with his two swords drawn into to help with whatever ruckus might have been going on.
But as she says that, she winks at Erizo.
Nice.
I blush even more and I smile. And then I lift my head and I look at Getafix and I tell him, "Getafix, did you still want to do something to Charmaine now, or wait until we're on the road and do it then?"
Oh.
What's the big guy gonna do to me?
I must check you for parasites from our fight with Brighthammer.
Okay.
So I will take my big wooden mushroom finger and stick it in Charmaine's ear.
Oh, nice. And then give it a little taste. Make a medicine check with advantage.
Oh, thank God.
Ooh, yeah.
12.
That was a nat 1 first. So yeah, you're confident that you don't see any parasites in Charmaine's ear.
I do not sense any of the parasite with me.
Well, that's a relief. Should we get going?
Yes, we should.
And you guys realize that the artificer in your group is nowhere to be seen.
Wait, Aren't we missing somebody? A child?
Garrett never came downstairs from his room.
Should we go check on him?
I think we should. Getafix, you may want to have something on hand just in case.
Can we go anywhere for more than a few hours without just like getting kidnapped or murdered?
You're adventurers now.
Do we know what room Garrett was in?
Yeah, you know what room he was in. Do you guys go up there?
Yeah, let's go check on him.
Cool. Nice. As you guys go up there and knock on the door, nothing happens.
Garrett!
And there's no response. As you creak open the door, whispering for Garrett, you hear nothing. The door opens and you don't see anything. His bedroom looks as if nobody ever occupied it, ever. It is tidied up.
What is happening?
Was that like the sound of like a teak table dragging across the floor?
Sorry, I should mute myself.
That was his microphone that he dragged over by the door to get the squeaking effect. Just drag the mic back on a table or something. As you get inside the room, it is completely neat, tidy, everything. It looks like nobody ever went in there. It looks like completely just like vacant. It looks like it was a photo taken for an Airbnb or something. It's just spotless and nice.
Charmaine looks around for a letter or something.
Okay, and you can make an investigation check. Just looking around for a plain letter, you don't find a letter, but as you're like looking around for a letter, you can't see any signs at all that Garrett himself was even there. You don't see a letter from him. You don't even see that like the chair by the desk was even pulled out to sit down and write a letter.
Was he just a figment of our imagination?
And this is all going on, Eliard stepping out of the room and
The bathroom.
Looks down.
I'm sorry, your mic was really quiet. If you wanted to, I don't know what you're talking into, but if you want to like put it like up to your like into your mouth.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Inside your mouth.
Testing mic check. 1 2.
Mic check.
Unique New York. So you said you walked out of the bathhouse room?
Yeah, walked out of the bathroom with just my towel around my waist.
Yeah, just ripped, just like shredded fire genie.
Yeah, he just kind of leans in the doorway and is like, "Oh, well, seems to be going on here. I go to the party up in these spots." Where's Garrett?
Well, from the looks of it, not here.
I don't think he existed.
How could he not exist when he was the one who gave me this? And then
is that a notebook I hear?
He gave me, wriggling around in the bag, a spool of copper wire, and I pulled that out. And a light trinket.
Nice.
You could have picked that up off the side of the road. That's your imagination at this point.
Not really, because he literally gave this to me in my hand. Oh boy.
I think we all just dreamed him up.
Either he had his own agenda right off the bat when we got here and decided to go on his own, or something else might have happened. At this point, we are heading back to Oxton. We all know he was definitely in a rush to be able to get back there too, so he may have just gone ahead.
I agree. Let's just keep forging on without him.
That sounds like a swell plan.
Okay. And real quick, the Lord Kosh in chat just said that I just noticed Erizo when he had ran out freebirding against the assassins at night when they got ambushed. He said 3 swords, 1 in each hand, and the third ... And then it just made me realize that Erizo, you do get 3 sword attacks. That if, for comedic sake, if you ever want to use your like action to attack, and then plus your ranger like second attack, and then use your bonus action if you're fighting naked to use like a bird penis attack, I'll totally count that as a short sword attack. And that's canon, and that'll be canon.
Not a bonus attack, but a boner attack?
A bonus attack. A bonus attack. Outrageous.
Does anybody watch One Piece in this group?
I haven't got around to One Piece, no.
No.
Well, there's a special move in there. They call it the finger bullet. So.
Oh shit! There we go.
Let that seep in. Except I wouldn't be using my finger.
Hell yeah. Bird penis. I don't even know what a bird penis looks like. Oh, did we discover that?
No, we're moving on.
Okay.
We're heading to Oxton.
Heading to Oxton. Thank you. That's a DM side quest coming up.
Discover what a bird penis looks like.
Oh, I'm sorry. To continue the quest. Cool. And you guys take off. You guys are you're leaving the Lazy Turtle. After a 20-minute walk past a... Oh, wait. Let's move back to the map as we talk about it. So from the main drag to Oxton, you guys have about a 20-minute walk. And you're going past this... large pond, this large water area. It's kind of swampy as you get to the base here, as the swamp rises up as you continue towards Oxton to a massive open air hill landscape. As you come to the outer cluster gates, there's a low hedge wall in front of you about 5 feet high that encircles Oxton Keep. There is this low hedge wall that goes on for miles, about 1 mile straight ahead of you is Oxton Keep, and there is a switchback past this gate at the outer cluster, and I can move where Erizo's at too to furthermore show where you might be standing. As you're at the outer cluster gates, and there's a switchback that winds up a hill towards the castle. You guys are still far away, though. You're still about a mile away. And from where you're standing, the tall, thick walls of Oxton make it look like a gigantic 6-sided dice sitting on top of a steep hill. And even behind it, a larger mountain landscape. Both sides of the winding street have hovels of clay and straw built up, but are well taken care of. And they're dug into the ground as the 5-foot hedge is the length of the hill, and the path and a lot of things are kind of dug in and well worn over. This was once a hill dwarf battleground, a large, and the story of Oxton goes, thousands of years ago, this was it was a big little mountain that was cleared away by hill dwarves, and along with other mountain dwarves, where the distinction was made later. Oxton Castle was built from a lot of the resources pulled together of moving this mountain. The air around you smells very fresh. It's crisp from the rain yesterday, and also pungent from the smell now of drying cattle dung in the hot afternoon on a fall day. And you guys get to the outer gate. You stand at the base. You can watch a small division of Empire soldiers squawking around like cocky birds in their red coats. No offense, Erizo. And they're taking stock of what is coming in and out of the gates. They're handing out letters of admission to people who are getting cleared, and then being allowed to enter the outer cluster of Oxton. as you recognize, these Empire soldiers, basically border patrol in a way, handing out pieces of paper and checking people as they come in and out.
All right. Papers, please. Oh boy. Be able to just walk up there.
Yeah, Charmaine does.
So Charmaine, you march right up there with Erizo behind you, and maybe the rest of the party as well, creeping up if nobody decides to stay back. You guys are walking up. Right away, the guards turn and look at you guys, and immediately just sense trouble looking at you guys. But they stop and, well, who goes there? What are you guys doing here? What brings you to Oxton?
I'm a refugee from Pingen.
Refugee with Penguin. Well, then Oxton is not the place for you. I suggest you head to the refugee town. Kligo.
Which is where?
Head over to Kligo.
I have family in Oxton.
Family in Oxton. What's the residency?
234 Hill Street.
Make a deception check.
11.
Hill Street was taken down years ago to make way for the transportation and horse tracks.
Well, they never told me. I'm sure she still hangs here.
Report to Kligo. And if you come back with your refugee papers, we'll talk about it.
Who's Cleo?
Kligo, the city, where the refugee village is at.
It's too late, honey. Just give me a place to stay here.
My word.
My word. Eliard makes his way to the front of the line and says to the guards, if you don't let us in, hold on. Best step aside before I'll cut both of you down in front of each other.
Whoa.
We don't want to start something young.
Okay, make an intimidation check as you say that, and the party's trying to deflate you as you say that. So make an intimidation check though. And I'm gonna say, as the party's trying to deflate you, it just makes you look even more scary. So roll it with advantage, because it's really selling it. Like, whoa, no, we don't need to kill any guards. And they're gonna do an insight too. So yeah, make an intimidation with advantage. So roll it twice. Oh, nice. And they're like, yeah, keep your dog back. And who are you? Who might you people be? And now this other guard, they're standing like shoulder to shoulder, and they're squaring up with Getafix, you with your arm around Eliard, calming him down. And Erizo maybe behind Charmaine, and Nerva, I'm assuming, is in the back, or like, because you seem to like circle around the outskirts of conversations like you did that pikey. Where's Nerva at in this situation?
Yeah, Nerva is probably still at the back, but like,
I thought you were gonna say still at the bar.
No, just like maybe a little more eager to confront than usual.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, and the guards stand together and they go, and who are you guys? Is this little one with you? As they're pointing to Charmaine, is this little one with you? Where are you guys from? Are you Penguin refugees?
We're all together. We're just here to collect our reward.
I totally forgot to add in the narrative, you have Chip and the wagon with you. So I'm going to make a perception check quick from the guard as you say that. What did you just say now?
We're here to collect our reward.
Okay. And he notices Chip and the wagon behind you that you guys rode in with. He says, whoa. Did Brighthammer make it?
Sadly, he did not.
All right. Well, we'll get you some papers just in case. And you guys can get into Is the little one with you though? What's her deal?
Don't mind the little.
Don't mind the little.
She's with us. She's with us. But
well, all right. Get the papers then. Worked out for them. Yeah, you guys will come in. You guys can come on in just fine.
As I walk past the guard, I wink at him and say, "I'm much more charming in person, honey."
Nice. Make a whatever kind of check you want. Whatever you're trying to do, let me know. And then what are you rolling? What do you want? What do you prefer to roll for this skill?
Well, I just want him to have a better impression of me.
Okay, then make a persuasion, because you're letting him know that you're a better person when it isn't about, you're adventuring still, right? And you're just like, come on, man, we're working here.
I got a 9.
Okay, that's plenty fine, because his roll initially was bad there. But he will just say like, well, if you ever wanna, he sees the loot on your back. And he says, well, if you ever want to do a show, I live down in Dia. I'd be happy to show you a good time. And Dia is the village at the very bottom of this map. This one down here. Yoink. Yeah, and that's where he just says, oh, is that right? Well, if you want to see a good time, come play down at Dia, and I'll show you some of our local hospitality. And you guys, yeah.
I just turn around and walk away kind of quickly.
And you guys are in line getting your paperwork filled out. They're just asking for your name, and they're just putting your name down on this little certificate. And as you guys are waiting in line, you can see a cart, like a chariot, coming down the switchback. And on the chariot is a man with sparkling, like I'm talking Edward from Twilight sparkling, but definitely not Edward. Edward's the vampire, right? Okay.
Yeah.
It's just fucking sparkling as he's coming down. Pale white skin that's just glistening in the sun. And he's got long orange hair. It is just like brilliant orange in a ponytail. And he comes down on his chariot. And you recognize him as the sorcerer that told you guys to leave Oxton. And he's now got a white horse pulling this chariot. And he's coming down solo. He's just steering it himself. And he stops to meet you guys as you've just walked into the outer cluster.
Afternoon, Carrot Top.
And he says, Getafix. Your humor never seems to disappoint. You'll still have to tell me again how charming you were with the governor in his mansion that night. That you plunged this whole city into a bit of anarchy.
I believe I did everyone a favor.
That you did, but we needed more time. It was a bit rushed. It was a bit rushed of a political campaign for me, the DM, to put together. And we were waiting for episode 50 for a climatic event. But it's a pleasure that we've gotten things moving. As you know, Captain Moore has been out on her tax collection cruise. My bird has reached her, and she'll be turning around. She'll be coming back to the city. it would seem that we are having ourselves an election. The High Council came, and they took the governor. You see, they have a hard time trusting me, as I had made my first political appearance running for the High Council. I was turned down because of my half-elf draconic ancestry. Needless to say, they do suspect the governor has some off-workings, and they've taken him to Saga City Keep for questioning. But our campaign begins here, as the High Council is putting forth a vote for the new governor, one that will unify Oxton and maintain peace and order. I am proud to announce that I will be running for that governor seat. But I need help. I need a campaigning body. My opponent is Marco Wonderman. He claims to be an Empire loyalist, as I claim to be an Empire loyalist. But he's really separatist scum. Crooked, probably as gnarly crooked as Governor Boehner. Separatists and Red Dragons are at a small war in Oxton. It's a bit of a cold war. Most people pretend to be loyalists to keep the peace. See how long we can draw out this mess before the blood starts to truly flow. And while it is true that nighttime devours the day, it is doubly true that every morning the sun returns over Oxton to frighten away the cowardly darkness. And while as my mission is big, of unification, I know this means war against Saffron. My platform is running against the mad bastard in the volcano. I owe you, big time. Report briefly now, what was the outcome of Penguin? Did you find Brighthammer?
Penguin's lost. I'm from Penguin.
That is terrible news, and you have my sympathy. I imagine you helped out the party quite a bit for them to bring you here.
I just did some taunting. Do you have a job for me?
I have plenty of work for you to do, and someone with a loot you might come in hand. I will cut you in on their reward here if you truly help them in Penguin. So what was the final outcome with Brighthammer?
He did not make it. We ran into him, and he was not himself.
Enough with the formalities, we bashed his brains in.
My word. Keep that part out of the story. I have hardly a stomach for war myself. I saw enough of it when I was fighting in Luskin. Do you have proof of his demise? Proof that you've made contact with him?
Pull out a piece of his armor.
Just pull a chunk of his plate mail, his full field plate, out of your bag of holding. You have this little ornate bag satchel on your side as you wheel it over and dig around in there, and you hear like clunking sounds of metal, and you just pull out one of his like arm bracers. Could you be more specific, man? I can't really tell the plate mail designs. Did you perchance grab anything that would signify Brighthammer himself, specifically a ring of his duties as a paladin?
Yes. And I present the Warhammer.
Oh, my word. He looks up and down as he's smaller, but he's very wiry. Because you can see him, he's wielding this Warhammer without really flinching or flexing. And he's looking it up and down. He says, "This could do, but that is too bad to hear of Brighthammer's demise."
What we did find, though, was of curiosity, something that we may or may not have found in a couple in our party, connected or not. But something infested his mind, in fact, literally infested his head and corrupted him. And I think our friend here, Getafix, he luckily was able to sense something and find something and restore our friends to a suitable, stable state. That affliction is no longer there. But like I said, who knows if they are connected? But if anything, there may be similarities.
I'm seeing a lot of connections now. A furbog, a healing furbog. Have you spent much time, furbog, in the Ziona temples here in Oxton?
I've spent some time, yes, before we set out to Penguin.
Right. It would appear you made quite the lasting impression. Some temples have been ringing their song bowls and burning incense all day, in fact, claiming to have had some kind of vision or word from Mother Ziona herself that came by. They've erected a small nature shrine for you, Getafix. Merely sticks and leaves, but it's a working design from the Mother Ziona temple. If you should head into Oxton, I suggest you check it out. Might win us some good political favor with Mother Ziona to go to that temple. But I have to say, I am not a guard to kick you out of Oxton. You are free to go where you please. But maybe you could take some time to game plan and strategize. I have Dragon Keep, which is my own personal manor, behind the city. You guys are more than welcome to take slumber there. I have here, he goes into his pocket and he pulls out a key. And he hands the key to you, Erizo, as you were the one who showed him like the Warhammer and stuff. He hands you a key and he says, "This is to Dragon Keep, my personal mansion." And if you guys remember when you met the sorcerer, Lander Dawnstar, he flew in on dragon wings late at night, and that came from back here. So behind Oxton is just like a mountain range. I don't have the map that goes up higher, but it's about 4 miles behind Oxton. But you guys will still remain in the outer cluster, but the route you would take would be like up the switchback, and then you'd go around like the Oxton area. Did you guys see that waypoint marker? Yeah. Anyways, he hands you a key to his mansion, and we can just auto run that when it gets there. But he hands you the key to his mansion, and he says that it'd be a wise plan for us to strategize there. And also, if there is some form of parasite involved, it will give some incubation period. I trust, Getafix, you are a great healer, but we should examine this a little further, lest we infect others in Oxton. I have to say that I don't have any rewards for you this moment, as it is a priceless duty that you have served, collecting Brighthammer's equipment. But I'll have that small horde waiting for you when we get to our mansion and decide where to go from there. And so he just looks over at the wagon and he goes, "Chip, I say I was not expecting Chip to make it. Juan Jane will be quite happy to see him back at the mansion. Follow me." And he is in the outer gate area, big entryway, big flat area, staging grounds for the Empire military to watch the gate. He starts turning his chariot around, and he's doing like the politician wave. As like some people are waving, some people are quietly like looking away, other people are like angrily looking at him. It's a mixed crowd, but he makes it very clear that he's with you guys. He's making it like he's doing a little, like almost you guys are having a little parade right now as this starts. And the whole switchback all the way up to Oxton is him yelling to people in the streets and waving, and people are also like doing other like interesting things. One lady runs up to the wagon. Who's driving the Juan Jane's wagon?
I'll be driving.
Okay, yeah, Erizo, as you're whipping the horse, I'm sorry, not whipping the horse, but like, you know, G-upping the horse. You want to be just whipping it in a parade. Move, you dog! Like, you're just giving it like the little G-up as it's prancing up the hill. And how many adventurers are here? Okay, just fucking went to roll a dice and just threw it off the table. Didn't even land on the table at all. Just threw it off the table. Okay, cool. So, Charmaine, a citizen runs off from the street and she hands you this like small pouch, and there's 4 silver pieces in there. And then
Thank you. What's this for?
Oh, it's a parade that's going on. They're giving you. She was just giving you a reward, and she says, "Thank you for your service. Thank you so much for being heroes and going to Penguin."
Oh, you're welcome.
And
how many did she give me?
I think did I say 3 or 4? We'll just say 4. Round up.
Okay.
4 silver pieces.
I take one for myself and share the rest with the crew.
Nice. Silver coins. Cool, look at that. And then
That's
another
so cool.
lady runs up and she's got 2 little kids like following in tow behind her, and she gives you guys a large sack of apples, like really fresh, crisp Ziona apples. And you guys, it's just a fun little thing as like people are cheering for you. Other people are like turning away from you though. Like you are getting a mixed crowd again, as this is a very political hot spot, especially outside of Oxton. And you get on a smaller road that leads to the side on the southwest corner of Oxton. And then you're going through some rural areas, but you're up on the hill now. As you're trotting along the ramparts of Oxton, getting a good look at the surroundings, the rolling hills with like wheat growing on them all the way down. And you get to behind the city and you can see there are some large mansions in the back. Like, there are 2 large towns that are farming towns that there's farming going on, but the cities themselves look pretty impressive. And as you go by this city here on the left, there is a large red tapestries that are hanging from like tall steeples of buildings, these big red banners, just really proud to be Empire. And they give Lander Dawnstar this amazing applaud. You guys are all like, it's a huge, everybody's come out, word's gotten out that you guys will be like coming through here as Lander leads you to Dragon Keep, and people are just so enthusiastic and happy to see you. Everybody here, like every single person here is rooting for you guys. And you start your lone switchback up these mountains now. Lander has slouched a bit. He's let go of his political appearance as he almost looks like a completely different person. Like he just kind of like hunches back over, and he pulls his chariot next and asks for one of the apples that was given to you guys. He proudly bites into it, right? You guys get to this cliffside now as you go past the... you guys had originally met one of the 3 wizards at Magic the Gathering, the Magic Guild. You guys went to Magic the Gathering inside Oxton, but the university itself is on this road. And there's this massive, massive university area. Tall steeple walls packed full with books. There's like a groundskeeper. He's very large and has a big beard. And he's just like swinging a scythe at some stuff, doing some of his own farming. And just past that is a large mansion, a very large manor. And there are a couple guards. They are wearing red, but it's a little bit darker than the Empire red. It's a little bit more crimson, and they're wearing badges that have the same insignia that you guys were given. as these are Red Dragon fanatics now. These are like actual like impressive heavy armored infantry people, and you're led into Dragon Keep. You're led into this like massive mansion, and we can take a quick break to do a bio break thing quick, and then we'll just pick up. Do you guys want to take 10 minutes?
Yeah, that works.
Cool.
That
Yep,
sounds good.
we'll just take 10 minutes and come back at Dragon Keep. Groovy. I'll see you guys soon. Yo, what is up, my friends? We got a raid. Gold Star Gamers. What's up? Oh, guys, hey, what's up? Do you guys ever play Dungeons and Dragons? If you guys like some fun games, Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Zero Dark, I played it a long time ago on PlayStation 4. I was watching you guys play that. I play a lot of PUBG, and back in a couple years ago, I think a year and a half ago, if you had Horizon Zero Horizon Zero Dark sounds like some like SOCOM game, but if you had that game memory saved on your PlayStation, you got a special mask and a special costume in PUBG for it, and I just like had that, and not a lot of people did. It was awesome. It made me like really appreciate that game. Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, D&D is such a treat. I'm applying for a couple jobs, and I have to do some like aptitude mathematics tests for it and like logic, and I attribute D&D to so much of my ability to use like deductive reasoning and like reading comprehension. So awesome. Thanks for the raid. That's super nice of you. Oh no, and Vinegar's in chat. Everybody tie your shoes. Vinegar will take them only if you try to steal their purse. I don't know you. Stab. Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and then come back. We just got into the city of Oxton, and wow, what a political roller coaster so far. There are people who like the party. There are people who don't like the party. But we're gonna be up here at this. I should maybe get something to signify that, but I'll maybe go to the bigger map. Blah blah blah. Sweetness. But we'll take a quick break. Everybody love everybody. I'm gonna play a quick song. Yeah, thanks, Gold Star. Thanks for the lyric too, and the raid. Legendary. We're gonna play a quick song here from Color.com. You can also find Color's music on Spotify. Oh, I can do this too. Hi, it's me, Lognarok. Here's the loading screen, and we're gonna be playing a song from the Color album. Kosh, if you're there, pick a number between 1 and 12. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Look at this. Everybody's hanging now. 9. Ooh, nice. So this song is called Jane the Ripper. It's from the 2013 album Be Love Not Fear. After Jane the Ripper, we're just going to go right into the Pouring Rain, which we listened to I think a couple weeks ago. But I'm going to go have a bio break, refill my potion. I suggest everybody take a second to get up, stretch, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna change the tempo of the song quick, and then I'm gonna take another 2 minutes here to finish refilling my potion. I'm sorry about that. Color pouring in the rain. So this album's called Wild, and this song's really cool. It's about the Milwaukee River, and I've always really liked it. It's called Reverse.
And heavy, steady flow. The rocks stop me for a moment, but I weave above and bend below. I eat what is fed me. I can cause a deadly blow. And still the river flows. Only heaven knows where the two waves flow. Where the rivers flow. Valley to valley, rough to rough. I don't know when enough's enough. Over the mountains up to the heavens, I follow the current of the river's flow. Of the river's flow. Here we go now, eat the river. Now we know we gotta eat the flow. Here we go now, eat the moment when you toss and turn below. Here we go now, eat the current. The river shines with the dangerous glow. Still the river flows, only heaven knows where the two waves flow. Where the rivers flow. Where the rivers flow. Up from the spring down to the rain. No matter what, I will still remain. From the beginning right to the end, I follow the flow of the river's bend. Of the river's bend. Here we go now, eat the river. Now we know we gotta eat the flow. Here we go now, eat the moment when you toss and turn below.
And we are back. Welcome, thank you so much for watching Lognarok, a Twitch channel where we play Dungeons and Dragons every Monday and Wednesday from 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. for the time being. In between, we play PUBG. It's a video game. And let's dive into the adventuring lobby. Hello, adventurers, and welcome. Is everybody back from their biological break?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool beans. On my Twitch chat, I've posted Twitch. It's a photo of what I think the mansion might look like.
Foster's home for imaginary friends.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's a beautiful home. And it's getting to be just past snack time. It's about 2 p.m. Oh, well, let's see here. What time would you guys be moving up that hill? Okay, okay, 3 p.m. maybe. It's like 3 or 4 p.m. The parade might have taken some time. And you guys get into the mansion. And Lander just like has tons of people that are helping him. There's like a stable hand that comes up and takes his horse, and he just kind of nods to you, Erizo, as he takes the reins of Chip from you, just to show that like he's got it.
All right. I look at Chip and I stare at him in the eyes. I hold his head and I say, "You'll be okay, buddy. You'll be in good hands."
Okay. And he goes, and he shows his like distaste for having to leave you. Like you can tell, like he like stomps his foot and like kicks back. And that's just Chip, just being mad that you're not the one. He wants to spend as much time with you as possible. Last time you left, he got really he got attacked by zombies. But he is familiar with this spot, so you know he's not worried. Chip is definitely not worried about anything. He just wants to spend time with you. And yeah, Lander's got just a handful of staff people. There's some humans that are helping him out in his staff. There is quite a few half-elves, though. Like, for every person you see that you think is just like human, you kind of catch the glimpse of like their ears. It's a lot of half-elves that live here, that work and tend to the place. Well, follow me into my strategizing chambers, and we will get you all set up. You guys move into this large room downstairs. So you move into this like basement dwelling that is deceivingly much larger than it would look if it were, than you would think. You guys are in the Bat Cave, right? You guys are in, you guys can all feel confident, like, this is now an area where you guys can stage. You guys can leave anything you want here. You guys have almost like a permanent dwelling, as he's got a table with all of your, like, he's got a table for you guys to sit around and discuss, and he says, each of you do have your own chamber down here. Upon entering in your chamber, you will find a nice warm bed. Any other accoutrement you might need, you can ask for my staff. And in your chests, each of you will have 250 gold pieces as a thank you. You did not have to go and help us with Bright Hammer. Captain Moore said that you guys had a strong aura about you. She was right. And I picked the right people to back up there in that fight. I could have let you be taken captive, but you are good people, and you'll be rewarded as such. So here, you guys will all have basically 250 gold each for completing that Penguin quest. As you also have your own place to sleep, your own little staging area.
Oh my god, yes. Oh, make it rain.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely hailing right now. And he says, but that's enough funny business. It's time for us to get to work. And he rolls a map out. And it's just like literally the map you're looking at. And I'll put it to you very simple. There is a way to strategize what is going on here. Marco Wonderman will take this seat as governor if we do not act well. As Wonderman is claiming to be a loyalist, I too am claiming to be a loyalist. It's just word around the street is I'm a bit of a hothead. People know me from my past. I am a half-elf, and nobody has any reason to trust a half-elf. There is a history in Aurum about half-elves, and like a big, just like the tougher crowds tend to be more half-elves, since a lot of the drows live in other areas who are like kind of like known for doing sheepish dark business. Half-elves have kind of picked up a lot of that too. As a lot of pure elven people have gone into retreat to different areas, and dwarves are pretty much extinct. That just leaves like orcs and half-elves as these like magical beings. But half-elves are kind of just looked as these abominations. Lander Dawnstar is a half-elf, and he says that the people might vote for Marco just because he's a human. He doesn't have the elven fey ancestry as I do. Oxton tends to favor more towards humans. They're a bit more conservative towards their own kind. But there are people who care about us. And I have small alliances with them. They've taken up to be part of the Red Dragon. Have you guys heard of Arden?
Yes.
Arden will be a place for you to stay should you find yourself outside of the cluster. Because you guys are all inside this brown circle. That brown circle is just an elevation change. So it's just showing like it gets steep out of nowhere. That's the low hedge wall that just like really ramps up 5-6 feet. And then it's just a steady hilly incline all the way up to Oxton from there. But should you find yourselves outside of the cluster, which you will very well be moseying on around in these different cities, Arden will be your go-to spot for stratagem. Arden, that might be way too small, and it is, but that's fine. Too much work. And there is a place you should avoid. In fact, many places with the color blue you should, I strongly advise you to avoid. Dia will be one of those places that I advise you not waste your time campaigning in, as they have no care at all about our plans. We need to win over these cities if I'm to be elected governor. If I'm elected governor, we can start our fight against Saffron with much more power and influence than that before. The quest is very simple moving forward. You will need to gain votes in these towns. If you get the mayor on your side, it's likely we can win over that town. Secondly, it will be important to do a little bit of espionage. Find out exactly where Marco Wonderman is going to be taking his actions. Because as you should...
Sorry.
Yep, absolutely. Marco Wonderman is running against Lander Dawnstar.
Okay, that's what. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely, man. It'd be good to know who's with him. It'd be good to know which guilds. I strongly suggest you work towards winning the guilds, because where cities don't represent everyone, the guilds make up the rest here in Oxton. The Merchants Guild, I know for a fact, aligns with Marco Wonderman. So try not to waste any time campaigning for good favor there, but it might be a great place to start should you find anything nefarious, or should we find any more of the political gains or leverages. Inside of Oxton itself, and he pulls up a second map that I won't bring up now. Inside Oxton Keep herself, it is split 3 ways. Separatists control the north gates, and he's like rubbing his finger over the map where the governor's manor was. Separatists control the north side of Oxton. A lot of the bell curve, dense population area in the middle around the Magic the Gathering. There's a little farm area and just a thick residential spot with some taverns. He says, these are all true loyalists. They just want what's best for Oxton. They may be needed to win over the most. And down here, if you remember the Lopsided Inn, where Juan Jane has been staying, he is kind of your point inside of Oxton. Should you be inside of the Oxton Keep, Juan Jane at the Lopsided Inn is your point of contact there. And I know you've had run-ins with the Obsidian Cult, but they have big influence on this town. The majority of the Obsidian Cult runs a vast chunk of the Thieves Guild. And although I am no thief, when my family raised me in Luskin, we did have to do some bad business to make ourselves credible. Sometimes you have to make a mess to show you can clean one up. So with your first task of making sure you generally keep a good word of my name in the minds of the townsfolk, your second task is going to be to spy and perhaps sabotage. And third, final, and hopefully optional, make actions to move against the Separatists in ways that are not political. And you see him like tightening his hand around his cane as he's got this cool like walking like nobleman's cane. And he like, you can see him like tighten his fist around it, and he does look strong. Like he's not like a ripped barbarian, but he does look very strong. And his like glittering pale skin is just like clutching around this cane. As you can see that like he definitely is planning for a civil war of some kind. And he's mentioned it before about the violence that could come from this. So I'll let you guys think about it for a moment. I believe I have some dinner prepared upstairs. Should you be hungry, you can meet me up at the dinner table. In fact, why don't we do that? Let's plan to have dinner in about 2 hours, and we can discuss further options from there. Should you need anything hospitality-wise, just grab one of our staff. Thank you so much for coming back. It truly is a pleasure. I can't promise you everything will be sunshine and roses, but I can guarantee it will be a better thing than letting Sephiron have his way with Aurum. Use your small hordes wisely and get ready to start our campaign. And he just dismisses himself from you guys' little war room that you're in the basement. And do you guys have any way that you want to start this? Does anybody have any ideas so far? Does anybody want to explain like what are you guys thinking right now? What do you guys think is about to go on?
So I'm thinking we need help. Lander Dawnstar. We need to curry favor for him in the Oxton area.
Gonna give Murdoch a treat. Thanks for redeeming that, Kinnemans. Cool. Anybody else want to weigh in?
Eliard doesn't want to be a part of this really in any way. Yeah, doesn't want to be aligned with any politics whatsoever. It's not what he signed up for.
Charmaine likes the idea. It kind of goes to all of her, she doesn't really have much right now.
C. Harris. C.H. Harris.
Kind of mischievous
Thanks for the
and stuff,
treat.
and she's also kind of charming, so this lines up well for her.
Whether you like it or not, Eliard, we're we're pretty much already deep into this with what we've already done, and look what happened earlier. So I am in favor of trying to do some good around here. See how we'd be able to help the folk around here.
So do you guys have any bright ideas for how you're going to help?
I think it's not really how many votes you can gain for Lander. I think it's really how many you can take away from Mr. Wonderman.
Charmaine pitches an idea of hosting kind of rock concerts.
Nice.
Charmaine, that's a great idea. If you pretty much go around performing, not only would you be able to gain some funds for yourself, potentially, wink wink, yeah, you'd definitely be able to help us out. And
what's the wink for?
It's just a wink, you know.
Gain some funds.
And, you know, if you definitely bring a crowd, it could definitely convince the mayor in terms of, you know, hey, more business, more people, more business. It's a good thing for the city. So it could definitely play a part in trying to convince whichever area we go into. Espionage, though.
So far we've got we've got a touring rock band idea.
Are we supposed to be like whipping votes for these guys? Like, where do we stand to gain for helping somebody become elected?
You're asking the party, right?
Sure.
That could...
I don't know. I just met the guy, but he just gave me 250 gold.
Very true.
I mean, if I have to disguise myself as Mr. Wonderman and cause a ruckus in some of the burbs.
Please keep the birds out of this.
The burbs. Not birds.
Oh, I don't know what's up with my hearing here.
Or if we need some wild animal attacks that Mr. Dawnstar's protection fends off magically.
Ooh, that's a good call. That's pretty cool.
That is something I may be able to lend a hand in.
Is somebody else keeping notes? I've got a rock band, and I've got saving from a fake pending animal attack. And just to give you guys advice too, how we're gonna game this. Like, there are multiple towns, there are hovels, there are villages, so you might need multiple ideas, or you could just do like one big like vote Lander rock tour. Rock the Star, Rock the Dawnstar thing.
Ooh, with acrobatics and a little bit of archery magic, we do one big show.
You guys are a circus?
I'd be able to help that.
Maybe
Eliard.
some stock car racing.
Eliard over here, you know, with his fire mastery, he'd be able to definitely provide some cool tricks with that.
And I'm a good tumbler.
Eliard, having said that you don't want anything to fucking do with politics, and now your like partner is asking you to do like fire magic tricks in a circus to get votes, how do you feel? Like, what's your input?
Well, he sighs and he says, "I'm not one for politics, but Maybe somebody feels like lining my pockets a little bit, or I might be obliged to help. Kind of looks around at everybody in the party, like, anybody wanna? Yeah, he's asking for a bribe.
Are you bribing your own party after you just got 250 gold?
Not to mention what he just did for you a while back, right now, recently. Pointing at Getafix.
I thought that would be a little easier. All right, then.
Come on, Eliard. I mean, if you don't do it for the money, maybe you'll find some love, if but for a night.
All right, all right.
Are you offering him love?
Call me a britches. I'll help.
I guess it does.
Your wing person.
It does kind of sound that way, Erizo, when you're like, well, we don't have money to give you, but maybe you can find love for one night. It's like, are you trying to fuck me?
Is that your third sword? Is that your third sword coming out of your hands, or you just happen to see me?
It seems what was afflicting your head may have already done a reversal damage. No, Eliard. Look at all the... Did you not see any of the ladies around here? Or gents? I really do not know what is your fashion. I've never asked you. But whatever your taste, I mean, you'd be able to pretty much pick anybody from the crowd who is amazed by your tricks. Your strength, if you want to go down that route.
Celibacy does wonders to the human body. And then he just winks at him.
Oh, that's so fresh. First you deny all the treats of alcohol in this campaign, and now you're denying sex. Who role plays a fucking straight edge celibate person? I love it, dude. Awesome job, Tamir. Celibacy keeps the mind clear. That's why you didn't sleep with one of the bath maids. You could have had your chance there. They had a long night of work. They were totally interested in you, and you're like, no, I'm just here to take a bath, thank you.
He gets off just killing people.
Yeah, it's his dark secret. Yeah, his dark fancy.
Really sexy weapon, like katanas.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Do I know what he just said right now about
celibacy? Yeah, that was canon. That came out.
No. Finding weapons, sharp weapons.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he could have. That's up to Eliard. Do you say that? You said that for everybody.
Sure. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. As he said that, as I hear that, I look at him and I pluck 3 feathers off of myself without no pain or nothing. I'm like, yoink. And then I pick it up, raise them up right in front of his face, and I say, "Wouldn't you like then to make yourself sexier by doing some amazing knife acrobatics on fire?"
Yeah. Wow. It's up to. I mean, that's crazy.
And we'll have Nerva as your final challenge at the other end, sitting upon a spinning wooden table, waiting for your knives to hit. Hopefully not.
Oh my god.
Nerva's like, I'm a fucking wizard. I can do way more than just spin on a wooden target. Nerva, how do you react to that?
I look up from the book I'm reading, like if this was like an anime, I would have like a steam cloud over my head, you know?
That's good, yeah.
I'll make sure the little wizard doesn't get hurt. And I wink at her. But maybe wink at her a little more than just like being playful.
Oh shit.
Nerva's like red, like anger turns into like blushing kind of.
The steam
Like,
clouds turn
the
into
steam
like
clouds,
like
yeah, like
shaking clouds. Nani?
like that little like sweat drop kind of.
Yeah. Eyes squinted. Like oh, like
And
caught
then,
in surprise.
I like put my book back up like over my face.
Yeah, and then just slide back into the book.
And I'm like like I cough.
So I'm gonna say that so far about half an hour has gone by. Dinner with Lander to go over any questions. To go over any, like, if you have any questions for him further, if you have any plans in mind, it'll be in about another hour and a half, so you guys can keep planning. If you guys just want to like pass time, you can do that. And also I did want to mention to you, you do not have to start the campaign right the fuck now. Like, you guys do not have to be like, next session we need to be like, hey, we want to do this rock band. And if you guys want to jump right into it next session and do the rock band, you can. If you guys want to have free time, because I understand you guys have now not only progressed through the Penguin mission, you guys have now been rewarded a ton of loot. So if you guys want to like spend your loot on stuff, or if you guys have other plans, like, this is the free time that you can arrange a lot of that too. But micromanaging time, you've got about an hour and a half before dinner with Lander Dawnstar, and you know, he's gauging you guys on how many ideas you have or what you plan on doing and any questions you might have. So are there any other campaigns you get, any other like ideas you guys want to figure out? Is there anything else you guys want to try and learn? I'm just gonna completely open it up.
I want to see if you guys have any ideas for smearing Wonder Man's name.
Okay. Before there's still another hour and a half before dinner with him. You can definitely ask him. Does Getafix have any smearing ideas?
I guess not. Like, my main idea was, like, if I could, I don't know, like, the disguise self, what extent that goes to.
Yeah, you disguise yourself. Like, you are properly, you can also, I believe, take the shape of people you've seen before.
Because it just says you can detect magic and disguise self straight.
Yeah. Oh, and it also says when you use this version of disguise self, you can seem up to 3 feet shorter than normal, allowing you to move easily, allowing you to more easily blend in with humans and elves. So it seems like your disguise self just makes you shorter.
Disguise self is a spell. So I'm assuming it's referring to that.
That's what.
You can change your visual appearance, but you can't like change your voice, I don't think. And like, disguise self normally lets you appear a foot taller or shorter, like, you know, but it's like your real height doesn't actually change. So like, if somebody were to put a hand through you, like, they would feel that you're
like when you guys met Big Willie and you poked him to make sure that he wasn't like fatter, you know, or like larger than he looked. And that's exactly how we were using it, because he was turning into like, you guys met him and he was a human in the beginning. But it says in the Furbog magic description that when you use this version of disguise self, you can seem up to 3 feet shorter than normal, allowing you to more easily blend in with humans. So I'm wondering if it's like, do you get the full blown? Oh yeah, you can cast detect magic and disguise self.
so tall, so it's like,
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna just continue with the Furbog magic of disguise self. You can definitely turn into whoever you want. Like, you can disguise yourself as anything humanoid that is, yeah.
Sounds like a world of hurt for Wonderman.
Yeah. I mean, so what do you, what's going through Getafix's mind as you're realizing, like, I can turn into Wonderman? What are you planning on doing it? And tell it to the party, though. Like, or, because what I'm trying to do is, like, take all of our thoughts right now and just put them on the table. So then that way we're, like, that way we can say we've said it all in character.
Right.
Like, your character's, like, made it known. Like, you're making a declaration of intent. And in combat, in role-playing combat, it's really easy. It's like, I swing at that person, I rolled this dice. But in these role-play situations where we're, like, setting up, we're staging a more, like, theater of the mind. Mechanics are more so geared towards actions that you take with role-play. I just want you guys to be, like, making... just starting to get used to, like, yeah, let's do this. Like, this is the action we're taking. Like, I'm thinking of. I plan on using my disguised self. Furthermore, like, I'm gonna be Marco Wonderman, and I want to. This is how I want to do it. But that might actually be a question for Lander Dawnstar too. To save, maybe to say, like, you are gonna be using. You want to use disguised self, and you want to be Marco Wonderman, and you tell that to the party. And you can learn more from Lander.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because I want to know, like, why the people would do it, like, why people who want to vote for Wonderman adore him.
Absolutely.
How I can.
And you don't want to do it the wrong way, right? You know, it's one of those things where when you do campaigning, you don't really want to campaign to people that are against you because you're just reminding them to vote. So it's like you want to make sure if you're smearing him or doing anything, it's not backfiring.
Right. Like, do I want to get sloppy drunk and puke everywhere? Do I want to?
Or do you end up, like, actually, like, getting that crowd to be like, oh, we love a sloppy drunk night, you know? Like, thanks for drinking with us.
Yeah.
So for the moment, look up disguise self, and we're gonna run it as that spell. Without. It's just the very last sentence of Furbog Magic is what threw me off. But I think Nerva was on the right track with using the spell itself, because that's what we had been using. I just gotta trust my instinct on that one too. Just get familiar with that. Does anybody else have other ideas? So your quest is kind of like gain more votes, gain more power, more prestige, if you would, with the surrounding villages, hovels, cities. And then also, if you can, maybe sabotage them in a way. But he also said spy. Like, he also wants to get info about what Marco Wonderman is doing. He also wants you guys to, like right now, you guys sitting at the table planning a campaign. There is, and this is where it becomes a fight. This is where it becomes a challenge, because Marco Wonderman has his own table with people who are strategizing a campaign against your table right now. So it needs to be very clear what you guys are going to be wanting to do, because Marco Wonderman's also doing that. And so Lander, who's putting his whole life into this, he wants to know what they're saying at that table, like proverbial and physical. He wants some more espionage as to know what's going on over there in their eyes. And then the third and final step, which is hopefully optional, would be to take, like, actual action.
Assassination.
Yeah, that could be. It could be assassination. It could be, like, riots. It could be sabotaging or seizing, commandeering, or expropriating. Expropriating is like commandeering, but commandeering is if you take something to use it for military purpose, and expropriating is to take something for public use. Does anybody have other bright ideas?
Well, I have a disguise kit.
You have a what kit?
A disguise kit. We could disguise ourselves as people in that inner circle and spy like that, a la Harry Potter.
That's a Harry Potter thing?
Sort of like with the.
Apologies potion.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Just make sure the cat hair doesn't get in.
Right.
Well, you guys would be happy to know that Polyjuice Potion is like, could be a real thing.
Maybe we should seek out Harry Potter.
He's a necromancer. I don't think he really studies transmutation.
No, but we could use a disguise kit like that.
Absolutely. And a disguise kit just gives you let's see here. How I was thinking disguise kit would work is you just get to add your charisma again to your deception checks or something like that, right? You can use a deception check, but if you use a disguise kit, maybe like you get advantage on deception and then maybe plus a booster bonus, or vice versa. Maybe you get a bonus but not the advantage. We can look all that up as we like plan it out, right? Because there's so many ways that you guys can do this right now, and I wanted to let you guys have the freedom to do so. So that's why I figured like we'll make the big plan. You guys can get this big thing set up, and then once you've all made some declarations of things you might want to do, then we'll launch it. Unless you guys said fuck it, we're launching it right now. Getafix, turn into a cat. You head to the governor's mansion and fuck dinner with Lander. We're gonna do one big hit. We're gonna assassinate this guy right now. We're gonna hop on a river. We're gonna head to the wash. You know what? Fuck Oxton. We're not gonna do any of this. We're just gonna go to the Monk's Snowman Keep. Meet up with big. Fuck Dons. Yeah.
Or turn into a bear. We're killing them both. We're heading to the Great Wash.
We're heading to the Great Wash. We're gonna have some Mai Tais. We're gonna fucking yeah, that's what I'm saying. You guys do have a lot of freedom right now as well. To be like, cool, like yeah. But you'll have more questions for Lander. If you guys don't have anything else, then yeah, we can just go right to that dinner with Lander. And do you guys do anything to get ready for dinner?
Take a bath.
I'd like to comb my mushrooms.
You'd like to what?
Comb my mushrooms.
Oh, comb. So when you said you wanted to comb, you're like, I'd like to comb my mushrooms. I like laughed and I was like, it sounded like he said he wanted to comb his mushrooms. And I was like, what did you say? And you're like, comb my mushrooms. And I was like, okay. Is this gaslighting or is he really saying that? And then I remembered you have mushroom hair. I totally forgot.
Those are my mushrooms.
Hell yeah. Nice. So yeah, you guys get ready for dinner. Cute. Anything else that you guys want to get ready for? Do? Okay. You walk up to the dinner table with Lander Dawnstar, and he is just smiling at you guys very pleasantly. Very, very formal setting, and there is a small group of half-elves who are playing music. They're like in the corner playing like gentle music on stringed instruments. And yeah, picture that classic, beautiful Victorian era kind of Victoria style manner. And there's food on the table. There's someone going around taking drink orders.
I'll grab some sort of. Is there some sort of turkey or meat or chicken?
Yeah, there's definitely like chicken wings on the table. There's like,
Grab like a
there's like appetizer chicken wings.
grab like a chicken wing and I start eating it. And I look at Lander. Hey. So Lander, tell me, how do people around Oxton communicate?
Communicate. Well, when you see one another, you typically talk in common. Or do you mean, how do they communicate over distances?
Yes.
When you see somebody, you talk to them. If you have a small child in your family, you typically can run a message. You can pay a courier to run a message. There are many ways to get a message around. Flyers, if you haven't seen the flyers on the way up here, there's plenty of them. And you guys can recall you saw a lot of these like political posters that were up, pictures of Lander, etc. I personally have my own eagle. I have my own falcon. I have quite the assortment of birds, thanks to my scholarly department. And then there's also sending stones. Small round stones used to send messages back and forth. You may see them a lot at Magic the Gathering. I believe they're all over. And and you remember the Aaron or whoever the wizard's name was when they were at their desk and they were looking at the orb you guys brought in. He put his hand over on a stone. And when he took his hand off, he said, "I've canceled all my meetings. You guys need to stay here," and blah, blah, blah. And you guys were like, "Oh, fuck." When he put his hand on that stone, that he was sending a message to the front desk. So you know the sending stones that can send messages magically. And then, yeah, there are birds that carry messages. As Captain Moore, you had seen, there was a winter owl in Goodhead. And, yeah, just a lot of word of mouth, too. Does that answer your question, Getafix? How's the chicken wing? Did you grab one of the spicy ones?
Charmaine goes up there, grabs a chicken wing, and hangs out to listen.
Buffalo burning hot, my favorite. Are there ways to disrupt these methods of communication, long distance methods?
Are you referring to the smear campaign on me? You've seen the posters. Around the town, there are quite a few posters of me, and, well, I wish I could say they were fake. But I will not tell a lie in this campaign. I refuse to tell a lie. My background is nothing I'm ashamed of. It's made me the man who I am today. But these posters cannot be around. There's a very good way of getting rid of those posters I'm sure you could figure out. But other than that, I don't know what type of communication you're talking about. Stealing birds? If you could find a way to kill a bird, sure. Are you talking about intercepting messages?
Intercepting messages and changing them.
Well, fuck if I know. You'd have to figure out which one of the birds is coming in and which one's going out. You'd have to do a bit of investigation over at Marco's estate.
Good enough. What about disguising as Wonderman? Making a spectacle.
That might be tough, but disguising as Marco, you lead an opportunity where two Marcos can be out campaigning, and where one Marco is and a second Marco appears, there could be talk of tomfoolery. As we all know, there will be plenty of that going around. It is suspicious, so it would take some planning. You'd have to know Marco's schedule very well. You best make sure that you, well, do a good job. I'd say getting people to not vote for Marco would be having him go around talking about stuff that's on my political platform, which I have to say is might lose votes for Marco, but it doesn't gain me any votes.
Why do people like Marco?
Why do people like Marco? He's a man about business. All he ever talks about is bringing money into Oxton. It's why the Merchant Guild loves him. It's why the people who make money off this war love him. And all the people that are bribed beneath, people who run the markets, people who run the larger industrial farms. Money. Talks of money. His platform is on talks of money and making right a peaceful time in Oxton. But he runs against increasing war efforts against Sephiron. He wants less people fighting. He wants more people back home working. And as that sounds peaceful and lovely, I make my stand that Sephiron must be stopped. And that we must stand up in arms and send our regiments out there. Meet him on the Draken Plateau and double our efforts. Get us inside of the barren volcano. That's what I say.
I think what you say is agreeable, and I think our only option here is to figure out a way kidnap Marco.
Kidnapping Marco. And he laughs and Eliard he laughs as he says kidnap Marco, and he thinks like, who the fuck would even try something like that? Like that's gonna be risky. Like that's that third final and optional step. That's why he's laughing at it. Kidnap Marco. My word, who would? And he looks over at you, Eliard, and he suddenly realizes that like not everybody, he gets the impression that not everybody in the party has the time for these political games. And he's like, but who would be crazy enough to try and just like get into combat like that so dangerously? What's Eliard doing that makes him realize, yeah, probably that guy would be the one. You know what? That's probably the guy. Well, everybody's sitting at the table. Eliard, I'm assuming you kind of sat farther away from Lander because you didn't want anything to deal with do with the politics and stuff. So, what's Eliard doing on the other side of the table that's making Lander go, ah, that guy? Do you want to chime in with anything, or do you want to just be doing something that looks badass?
Eliard's kind of like, is there any sort of like flames in the room that he could like potentially just like be just fucking around with?
100%. There are like torches on the wall. There's a on the farthest side of the table, which is closest to you, is a brazier on the far side of the table, like an indoor fire pit.
Well, how about like if there's like a couple of like lanterns like on the wall, he's just kind of like reclined back in a chair, but obviously not a chair that you can lean all the way back in. But he's he's got good balance, so he's just leaning back in this chair and just creating a little spectacle for himself, like kind of staring off and messing with some of the lanterns on the wall, like making them into little, I don't know, making the light, the flames sort of do really weird stuff.
Just dancing fire in the braziers.
Yeah, like making them into little, like, maybe making them into little, like, creatures or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lander sees
He's laughing at it, too. Just like a little kid.
Nice. And and the light that dances off the fire just makes your eyes, your katana, and your chainmail shirt that you have over you, like the fire between your metal armor, your metal katana, your eyes dance with fire, and like the same metallic, like cold, hard fire, right? dancing on you as you're just watching fire and just the burning properties of it that Lander is thinking in his head, and like the thoughts of what fire can do if left unchecked. And he's realizing now like your capacity in this party, and he says, well, I see that option 3 might not be a problem, but I would like to keep the casualties inside of Oxton low. Kidnapping our opponent Marco, if gone sour, would come with pretty heavy consequences. So kidnapping might want to be saved for a last resort.
How do you feel about a rock concert?
Rock concert, my word! Oh, I love a good rock show, and why did I suddenly become from down under? I love a good rock show. Rock shows are what founded a lot of the good towns here. People getting done with their farms, getting done with their mining, moving, cattle driving, sitting down, relaxing, forgetting about the world. Going to the proverbial Margaritaville. The people love that shit here. I'd say it just depends. Just suss out the situation. Because if you go to a town that is not favorable for me whatsoever, and you put on a rock show, it might come off as a slap in the face and do more harm than good. So make sure you get a chance to suss out the town before you move forward with something as happy as that. But there is a town, now that you mention it. It is known as Lower Arden. It is below Arden. 1 second. Just gonna put it on the map so you guys have it. Okay. Wait, let me find the actual name. I knew it was like Lower Arden or something like that. Oh no, that's cool. Okay, that's what it was. There is the small town of Ardenbow. Oink. So he tells you of this hovel, this small town known as Ardenbow. And he's saying that places with very negative alignment toward him could be dangerous. It could be counterintuitive. And then there's also places that are just like totally on board with him. That almost it's not even worth campaigning there. You're just kind of wasting time. Like maybe make an appearance. Like maybe that could be your final stop of the rock show, he says. He says that maybe Arden could be your last stop at the rock, the place of rock. But then he brings up places like Ardenbow, for example. Ardenbow. And Ardenbow is on the fence. They're like one of those people where like if you show up with a good rock tour, he says, now places like Ardenbow, should you show up there and bring a good rock tour, celebrate my name, sponsor something else there, have a good show, you might sway them to come around, be more strong towards our support. The stronger they are for us, the stronger they will be inclined to celebrate in this vote. So, should you start a rock tour, I suggest Ardenbow definitely be a place on your map, on your master, your tour guide. When you guys make t-shirts that have the list of places that you will tour, you will put Ardenbow on that shirt.
I'll get to work on that right away.
Yeah, I get to work on some touring t-shirts.
How is the city of Oxton delivered news?
Well, mostly by word of mouth. Marketplace, the main center, carries the most news, and there are 2 other separate posts where men will shout out the Empire report. And you guys remember, this is episode 31, by the way, I'm pretty sure. You guys remember all the way back to episode number 1. I can't even remember what I called it 31 weeks ago. But the very first episode, Lieutenant Brom came into the small tavern in Auckland and gave the Empire report or whatever. And that's still that's an occurrence that happens all around the Empire. So he says, the Empire report is given in the main market square and at 2 other locations in the Auckland city, and word of mouth gets around fast enough in a small area. If you're looking for it, some people choose to ignore it. And that's their right as a citizen of Auxton.
And how are the final votes cast?
Well, every vote is put together in individual cities with the attendance of an Empire Herald. And you guys also remember a herald from the Auckland area who was escorting Lieutenant Moore at the time. She was with an Empire Herald. Each town casts their votes with a herald present, and the herald brings the votes into Oxton Keep.
I think I've got a lot of last ditch efforts, but I'm okay with this rock concert idea.
Very good.
If need be, we can kidnap, we can bribe, we can disguise as heralds. There's much that can be done.
There is quite a bit to be done, quite a big list of things to do. And I know there was one other in your party. In fact, maybe 2. I don't know about one of them. But I do know I've made a friend. One that spends quite a bit of time out in the woods. We've found him, and I've had my hawk send him a message. He returned nothing. But I have him on his way. And you hear a door open to the mansion. Like creak open, and then the door like shuts behind you. Shuts in the back.
Oh, hold on.
What's up?
Oh, it's not working. You can go.
Oh, you're trying to do the door creaking sound? You guys, the door creaks open to the front of the mansion, and you hear like lumbered footsteps walking into the house. Wow, I believe they've just arrived. And then as the firelight that's dancing from Eliard's control flame, the light flashes over to the corner on the other side of the table on the end. And at the entrance, with a thick hide coat on, like a duster, like a hide duster, and a massive greatsword on their back. The dancing light flashes across Peo Morazan's face, and outside you hear, "Ho, just this like huge wolf howl just bellow outside as you see Peo Morris on you. I believe this soldier might be able to help us out quite a bit. And that we can just end it there for the night.
He stares off magnificently.